The Grand Canyon trip was like the culmination of this 10-year-long journey. It was this full circle moment for me. It helped me kind of rediscover that love of history that I've always had, really give it direction and purpose. By taking these students here, it would be a way to pass the baton, to show these students anything is possible. I'm completing my journey. I wanted it to be someone to do the same behind me. During that time when I was dropped out, I got invited on a random road trip with my friend's family to go to Yellowstone. Pulled up and said, "Hey, do you want to get in the car?" And I had $20. And they said, "Just get in." For me, this catalyst, life-changing moment was this get in the car. Suddenly I had a purpose, I had a vision. Now I'm able to focus and work my way through classes. It's so hard because I've been that person kind of stuck in that anger and that bitterness for years. All it took was this get in the car moment to completely change where my life was headed.
So then kind of going through the pandemic, and then when John contacted me, and I'm kind of like, okay, I can't host that many universities anymore. So I have to figure out who I'm going to host. And so Texas Tech made the cut because of all the lift that's happening with Texas Tech.
We were one of two schools that were invited to come back and pilot a rebirth of this program. True, we had this alternative break program where colleges from all over the country could go and volunteer during spring break. I was so appreciative of the opportunity to do a capstone because it felt so much more in line with the way I learn. Let's not talk about it. Let me show you what we're learning. And that was the inspiration behind Hiking Through History. Hiking Through History was a field-based learning experience. The idea was to take students to the Grand Canyon and volunteering, being fully immersed in the history, in the landscape, in the people that lived there, that live there.
At the back of it is flat. Okay, that's where they will have had the best chance to crate them, and then weather hasn't bothered them.
4,000 years old, and it's still here. It's wild. I say failing upwards because I couldn't do the traditional track, not the way it was designed. It opened up this door to try something new that they had been wanting to do for a long time, and I happened to be at the right place at the right time because I had dropped out for 7 years. And then I come back and suddenly it's the right place, it's the right time. So quite literally, I failed my way upwards.
Rather than writing a formal kind of research-based thesis, Sarah was able to take advantage of this new capstone opportunity and use her own creativity, her own connections, and her own background with the Park Service to build out this pretty unique model of place-based learning that is still tethered and undergirded by kind of historical knowledge and historical research. When Sarah pitched this idea to me, I was all in, but I didn't really have any experience or very little experience. So Sarah, in a way, taught me, right, about how rewarding and how impactful place-based learning, experiential learning, service learning can be from a history standpoint. I'm going to be thinking about this model going forward, right? How do I get more students out in the field? How do I get them to places like the Grand Canyon? I'm going to be thinking about that for a long, long time going forward.
You're gonna... How'd you know? Because I see how your hands are. So put the knife in. That was one of my favorite parts about this, was the fact that we were partnering with the McNair Scholars, that they experienced probably a very similar world to what I grew up in. One thing that I always wanted was I want to help somebody not go through what I did, to skip the rough parts and get to where they should be going and not be held back by their own perceived limitations, because that's what it is. It's perception. Think about it like, what is your get in the car moment? This might be yours. Just get in, you experience something that completely changes your trajectory, and then suddenly you're somewhere you never thought you'd be in 5-10 years.
The fact that she was able to take a group of McNair scholars who are first-generation college students, underserved in terms of socioeconomic status, who have ambitions to go on to graduate school or doctoral work, and they're able to see Sarah model that behavior herself as a first-generation master's student. I think there's a path there where they can see themselves in someone like Sarah, see themselves in doing this kind of hands-on, interactive research with huge payoffs, right? Super rewarding work. We can kind of build this pipeline and encourage first-generation college students that, yes, you can do this. You can be in the research chair someday. You can be the professor.
Got like the official, now I just need to not screw it up. Wild. This is wild.
The takeaway that I hope people see in Sarah's story is that there is no one track to success, right? You don't have to follow that 4-year journey, cookie cutter approach. Sarah, had a bumpy road. She was a first-gen student. She had some things to overcome along the way. And yet, because of all of that, she was able to craft her own journey and get to do exactly what she wanted to do and walk away with a master's at the end of it. And I think that type of ingenuity and can-do-itness that Sarah exhibited is something other people should know is possible, right? It's possible here at Texas Tech. It's possible through close interactions with professors who can work with you one-on-one in kind of these mentor-mentee relationships. And I think that the takeaway to all this is that there's no one right way to earn your degree.
Program today. We are with Sarah Tapia from Texas Tech University, and Sarah is here to give her Capstone project.
We're going to look at how wilderness has come to shape and create basically an American identity, and how that's continued to evolve over the centuries. So to start with, I want y'all to think about what brought you down here to the Grand Canyon. So take a second, think about it. What made it so important for you to drive maybe 11 hours? With PTSD, it's one event, right? And it's usually confined to a time or a place. Whereas C, the complex part, is it's multiple things happening over an extended period of time. And for me, those things were still happening while I was in grad school. Trying to navigate all the unknowns of grad school with the turbulence of life. I learned that was part of the reason I was having such a hard time concentrating, focusing, basically being able to fully commit to this one thing, because I was also over here worried about other things. That was a lot of the build-up, the build-up to the failure. Being fully immersed in like these wild places, that was the first time I had felt peace. It was this reminder of a world that existed outside of that. I think that was what made me so determined to do this project. But I knew when I get there, I'm gonna be able to share this thing that helped me with other people, and maybe it'll help them.
To have that one-on-one relationship with a student like Sarah, who is passionate, who is hardworking, who is resilient, and has overcome these barriers, it absolutely reminded me that you can foster these one-on-one mentorship relations, and really incredible projects and incredible growth can come out of that, both for the person mentoring them, but also for the student themselves. And so Sarah certainly re-grounded me and reminded me 5 years into this job why I got into it in the first place, right? Student engagement, mentorship, being able to see a student begin with this nugget of an idea and then follow it through and make it their own, and they become the expert at the end of the day. And that is the reward of teachers. When you can work directly with a student like this, it's what keeps me going.
I'm Sarah Noemi Tapia. I'm a graduate from the history department, and from here, it's possible.